Hello, and welcome to the very beginning of QuestLyst live streams. So today's live stream, we are going to talk about QuestLyst in general, like what QuestLyst is and who is it for, and why it exists. And first of all, I just want to run through the entire system, and then um, also go through the what features we currently have and run a few demos specifically for how to register and how to post one of the products or one of the features we offer is to post a listing, and I'll run through the process of doing that and um, go through the whole process of buyer, seller, and trade. So what is QuestList? So QuestList is a new kind of marketplace, originally developed by Kenyans, and why we think that QuestList is a really important system and why it can change the way buyer and seller do trades online is because that QuestList is originally designed, or the original idea is to design it to run on chain. By chain, I mean like using the current blockchain technology to run the system, the process of buying and selling between each party that is involved. So ideally, what we want is a system that allows solves all the problems that all marketplace have, and I'm talking about so many marketplaces that exist currently. And the problem we are solving is, um, for example, scam, fraud, and we want to curb all those problems and um put all, put them in one bucket and then destroy them. So that is the idea of QuestList and why we want this system to run on chain is because most of the systems or most of um, the capabilities of blockchain technology have have proven to be secure because of a lot of stuff that go through the chain, and this includes like a lot of cryptographic strengthening that is developed within blockchain technology, and then decentralization of the technology itself enables us to um, run a secure system and not rely on just one party that runs the system. So to do that, we have developed a few um, like we just have a skeleton of the system that allows people to put their stuff on the system, and then once we have their system, we have their stuff already listed in the system, then we can run a, a test or a way to like include the the trade process on chain so that every system, every item that is listed is on chain. Now, what we have right now on the system is um, we have like everything else in the system. Like you can list anything you have in mind. If you are doing, you're selling stuff, if you want to run a live auction or you want to just list your assets, you can do that now. And then let me just run through the entire what the features we do have now. So for example, the first a very interesting feature that I think people would be very much interested in is running a live auction. Sometimes you want to sell stuff real quick, like you just want um, um, something to sell in a matter of minutes. So one of the way you can do that is to run a live auction on the system. and I'll show this how it works. But then for these, I think we'll have another, because today we want to just run through how the system itself, and then do a demo on how to create a listing. But for this, we do another live stream, which will be um, a very fun one. So you want to sell something quick, go for li live auctions. So the system, what the system does now is interesting because we run live stream of incoming bids. So bids as they come, the seller or the auctioneer will see through all the bids as they stream in. So given that people are like uh, doing the bids in real time, and are really engaging. So this is one of the feature we have, and the other feature is you can post anything you offer. So it's not limited to just maybe automotive or like anything you have, you can post on QuestLyst. So anyone, any organization, any business, or any government can post whatever they sell on QuestLyst. And I'll show you exactly how that process um, um, entails and how to do that. And one of the other feature we have is like you can showcase your assets, and I'll talk through what assets we offer and what assets are, and why they're important to QuestLyst and to people who were interested um, in running like a system that has you can manage stuff and tokenize, digitize all your physical asset in one system and see how people trade through the assets. So we can go through all that as well. And so yeah, I'll show you how this like the system what we list on the assets category, and then so this is the so there these two are connected together. So we have assets which already exist right now. You can list asset if you want to, and then we have asset tokenization. So this is like you have a real world asset and you want to turn it into a digital asset, though, so you can do that on QuestLyst. But this is a feature that is coming. It's not currently in the system, and but will be available for those who are interested. And then it's also built for organizations. So if you are not just an individual creator or individual person who want to sell stuff, you can do that. Do an organization approach, which is you can list assets or list listings, whatever you're selling, as an organization. So that's also included. We can also run through how that is done and how what we offer and how people can manage their stuff under an organization. So one of the other feature we also thinking about, which currently is not, it's there, it exists, but we haven't really implemented enough to show on payments. But this is one of the direction we will take in thinking about or implementing the system. And then so a few steps, you just sign up and explore what you think you're interested in, and then bid whatever you want to do. And so I've talked about why it exists. So everything in one place is something magical, and uh, it's it cuts down what most marketplace do. So, for example, you want an automotive, you go to an automotive listings company, but why not just go to QuestList, which has everything you want, right? You want to buy a fridge, you go to QuestList. You want an asset, you want a mansion, you want to like list or want to rent, go to QuestLyst. So everything in one place. And then it's secure, it's transparent, it's um, and as I said, like building a marketplace that runs on top of blockchain technology is amazing. So you get all the power out of blockchain technology into the platform you are running. So it's powerful and it's secure, and it grows with you. So as the system grows, you get to enjoy the capabilities, and you can as well go um, from originally we thought maybe only uh, locally businesses that exist locally, or people who are selling stuff locally can benefit. But I think it can grow. It can go because it's not limited to just local or Kenya. You can trade globally. And once we have a system that runs on chain, then we get all the capabilities from different countries as well. So if you list an asset and then you want that asset to be traded in another country, then you can do that. And it will be as easy as just you just plug and play, right? So it's something that we think will be very beneficial to people who are selling their assets, who are thinking of investing in an asset. So that's an overview of what QuestList is, and I want to just go through um, the system itself and what it looks like, how it looks like, and how many um, features that we can show today. So, first of all, if you're interested, you sign up. You can sign up using the login form, which is easy, email, password, and then if you have an account, that is. And then you can also do it with Google. So if you have a Google account, you can easily do sign up with Google. And the same, yeah, it's we don't need much information for you to register. You just need an email and your name, and everything else will follow. So I will run through the system. So the features that I've already mentioned here is live auctions and bidding, and organization registration, assets and properties, then asset tokenization. All that features exist. And so for listings, this is like if you go to the marketplace itself, um, you what this is what you'll see. So I mean, so this is on this is not real data, but the system lives here. So I'll just run the demo on this URL. So this is like staging or dev, whatever you want to call it, but the system lives here. So what we have, so for automotive, you want to list an automotive, or you want to buy an automotive, or whatever category you want, we have them here. So we have cars, we have buses and trucks. So all these stuff will exist for those who are interested in. And for services, we have a lot of services as well. So household, legal. So if you want legal services, you can find them here. Your health, wellness, beauty, education, like all technology, tours and travel, like all the stuff that are under services will be included. And then people who are selling stuff, who want to sell stuff, they can do that as easy as listing whatever they are selling. So we have a lot of stuff they can list, and then people will find them by just clicking the category they are interested in. for example, if I click fashion, then it will go to fashion. Then I will see all the fashions that or that is under fashion categories. So the other thing that I want to first of all, let me just log in as a seller. So as a seller, I'll just log in as a seller for now. And as a seller, I have a few options here. So we have profile, we have engagement dashboard. So engagement dashboard is where you can manage interest. So for example, you're listing an asset or you're listing a listing, yeah, have a listing, and you want to track whoever is interested in your listing. So people will post interest. An example of that is well, I'll just run through that later, but for now, let me just create a listing so that you see how the process of creating a listing. And I'll do that in a sec. But for now, let me run through how this looks like for auctions. So if you list an auction, we have two categories. So we have private auction and we have a public auction. So private requires an access code. So if you want to run a private auction that only requires people to have access code, you can do that. And whoever is interested in the auction can log in and then input the access code that would be provided by the auctioneer and then continue to the auction. So if you don't have the access code, you cannot access the private auction. And public is just straightforward. You click and then go to the auction itself. So this was the page that will display the auction. A few interesting features like filtering through auctions, whatever you're interested in, the price range, time that it starts. You can also search for whichever auction you are interested in. And then, so all the items under this auction will be available in this page. So if you have um, an auction that is running, what you'll see, I know these are already this is not running, but if what you'll see is that an auction will be live, and then a few other items you'll see will be the price or the current bid. And when you go to the details of that auction, so this is what you'll see in the system. So I think what we can do now is create an example of an auction. But no, so I'll just show you how it looks like, and then we can do this some other time. But yeah, so this will be what um, an auction item will look like. So the other one is an organization. So if you have an organization, you can list it on QuestLyst. And this organization can be anything. It can be any category of an organization. It can be for in any country. So if you have an organization, you can list directly on QuestLyst, and then it will be approved automatically. So, for example, I'll click one of the organizations here, and what you'll see is a few details about the organization and explore assets if you have assets, explore listings if you have listings, and then auctions as well, and then the ratings of that organization. Also the details of whatever the organization, the register of the organization was. You can find them there, and location of that organization. You can also find that here. And one of the features that isn't implemented but will be is organizations can, like if you have an organization and you are an investor and uh, people can invest sorry, if you have an organization that is listed, people can invest in that organization if they think it's something that adds value to to the community or to the country. People can, invest in that organization. So this feature will allow any investor or anyone to get to show interest in your organization, invest however they want, but investment will be managed by, like the parties that will be involved. But that's just uh, an example. And the other ones is assets. So I told you about which assets we will be offering, and these are the list of assets that QuestList offers currently. So if you have any of these assets and you would like to list them on QuestList, it's straightforward. You can just come here and list, put the details of the asset, select the organization of the asset that you want to list. So yeah, so asset, and then you select the category. So um, we have art, collectibles. So if you are an artist, you can list any of your work on QuestList as an asset, and then people can, invest in that asset whenever we are ready to um, with the tokenization feature. Then people can invest, or if for now they can directly just, buy the asset and you can go through the trading system that we have, which will be um, I will show you in a moment. And business assets are a lot of categories: goodwill, customer database, supply networks, distribution channels, licensing agreements. All those good stuff under business assets will be also available for people to list. Equipments, so many equipments are assets: construction, heavy equipment, medical equipment, agriculture equipment. All these are assets. Laboratory equipment, they are all assets. So all these can also be listed on QuestList so people can um, buy them, rent them, or invest in them. So intellectual property, this is one of the most important category for people who are creators or people who are um, scientists, for example. So if you have patents and you have patents and or trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, IP, digital software, and you want to list it as an asset so people can invest in the asset or buy the asset, you can do that easily on QuestList. And then machinery, which also includes all the categories you see under machinery. And then we have real estate. Real estate is the most famous. I mean, people know about real estate a lot, and they are building systems under that run the real estate industry. So all these listings, all these categories that are under real estate can also be listed on QuestList. So those are assets. And the other one is wealth. So the asset tokenization is one of the features that will be coming soon. So this is the only feature that has not been implemented, but it will be um, something that I think will be interesting to so many people who have assets and want to run trades under that. So if you are interested, you can just leave your email or directly email QuestList, and then we can, list you or add you to wait list so that you can receive all the benefits that will be available for asset tokenization. And I think that's all the features we currently have. Now I will just run through one of a small demo to create a listing and then go through the whole process of doing a trade w- uh, between a buyer and a seller. So we have a button here for creating a listing. So if you want to create a listing, you just come and click. So you have, first of all, you if you sign up, you have to be verified. And then once you're verified, you can do all the other uh, important features like create stuff, post stuff, whatever you have or you're offering. And so it's as simple as clicking create listing. And what you'll see here is a way to create a listing. And one way we have here is you can make this as an asset. You can mark it as an asset or just create a listing, general listing. So if you have an organization, you'll see that this label here. And so you can select the organization you have and then go through the whole process of creating a listing. We'll create an automotive listing for now, and then cars. And I'll say these, I don't know, maybe name of a car. Okay, let me just use a random. So this is a live stream test, and our description. I'll just copy some description. Okay, tokenization. Okay, so example, and you can set an expiry date. So I would advise to do like because this controls we how long we keep the listing. Sometimes we need to check off all the dead listings. So by dead I mean they expired and they're not uh, they're clouding the system, so we shed them off. So one way to do that is we control that by the expiry date. So you, if you want your listing to last long on the system, then select an expiry date that is like far in into the future, and then we can do make this 5,000. And currency, so we currently have three options for currency: Kenya shillings, USD, and euro. And let's say USD for now. And then I'll an example email. And so for address, you can type in the address of. So this is more like controls what you want to where you want to the buyer to come for the listing or to deliver from. So it's more like what where it exists, where it lives currently. So I'll say maybe um I don't know, Gong Road or and Kenya, so region say Nairobi, then Nairobi. Uh, and uh, And we have a few other details. So metadata is where, so for that car, for the listing type you have, we have cars, and cars have metadata. So this just helps the buyer to know what kind of car it is. So you can select a few, let's do BMW. And every time you select a make, so the model updates. So you can select as many a model for the BMW, the transmission automatic adventure, maybe body type, RWD, let's just pick a random number, color, say black, interior, say gray, three. Some values I just come with the system, so you just select them. Condition new, yeah. Okay, so the year also the data here is based on what you've selected, the model you have. So this model has only this years that is provided. Horsepower, random number, speed, random number. Okay, some errors as well, so you'll counter those, but uh, they are straightforward and they are like self-explanatory. And mileage, random number, um, just say seconds, acceleration, also random number. Hopefully they don't fail. Let me just okay. It's a lot of information. So one way I think one important thing I think we can do is allow people to export this to import this data. Uh, but yeah, so um, and, seats. Well, just these are random data, so and some few information. Okay, and you can also highlight whether it's negotiable or not. So I'll just say this is negotiable. So before you create a listing, you have to accept um, terms. So this is what happens if you don't accept them. So, but to accept this, you just do that. And if your listing has images, you can also attach them. So let's attach a few photos. Hopefully I find some of them. Cars. And we have a few cars here. And then double check everything is filled up. And once everything is filled up, you can submit your listing. So don't worry about the pop-up whenever you see this. So this is so we will have a way to boost your listing so that it's on the top. But currently, you just do no boost for now and publish your listing. So once you publish a listing, it will show up here, and that's weird because I don't. Looks like no images. Something wrong. There should be images because we added those as well. Let's see what happened. Okay, so interesting. Okay, looks like we created a successful listing, but without images. this might be a bug, and I'm just seeing this. Hopefully, it doesn't happen on production. Let's see. Okay, so we have a bug. Um, no images. All right, looks like we have a bug, but yeah, so listing is created successfully. And oh, so this is for the app. So if you can install an app, you can do that on mobile. Um, it's responsive on mobile and desktop app when if you want to. For now, I'll just dismiss this to remind me later. And so this is the listing we've created. And as a seller of the listing, what you'll see is this card right here. So this card shows you how many interests are available for this listing. For example, an interest will be submitted, and then you see an open interest. Once you accept an interest and create, it will turn into accepted. So you see an accept. You can also decline an interest. So this is for the seller only and for the buyer. So if you are a buyer, I'll just show that as well. So I'll log in as a buyer using another let me try browser Firefox. Let me try Firefox and log in as a uh, same listing and then log in as a buyer, anyone. So accounts. I don't think I have. Okay. Um, I'll just create an account for this user and see what happens. I'm just creating a test account for now, and so I don't go through the whole process of. I guess I have an account for this. Not sure why it's not working. Okay. Maybe it's called. Oh, yeah, I do have an account for these. So interesting. So I'll just copy this listing and so I'm viewing this as a buyer, and the other the other tab, the other browser is viewing it as a seller. So once I say I want to, I'm interested in this listing, so I'll just fill up uh, a few information, like um, maybe when I want to have a meet with the seller, or when you want to buy it. So you just select the date and time, and then do the same for time window. So say we want to do this in 3 hours, 2 hours, and you can say preferred settlement rate. So preferred settlement method would be we only have um, this two option, but M-Pesa is the one that is currently active. If you want crypto, which will be also available, but not at the moment, but it's also a work in progress. So what we have currently is M-Pesa, and then you can leave a message. Okay, and then suggest where you want to meet. Say Surrey Center. Okay, and then submit. So once you submit us an interest, that will notify the seller. So you'll see a message interest sent to seller, and then when you come here, the seller, if they are currently logged in, they will see a notification new interest has been delivered, or they will see an email. But since we are on staging, I can't show the email because the email feature, I mean the email is not set up, I think, for staging. So for now, we see the notification here, and then you can click on the notification, and it leads you to the um, engagement dashboard. So engagement dashboard will show you who is interested in your listing and what kind of payment method they prefer, the date they created, and then proposed window of meeting. So you can use that data to create a reservation, and how to do that. So if you have interest in open status, you can there are these three actions right here. So the first action is just open the listing. You can just open it and see what information. So right now it's updated with the person who is interested, the new interest, and then one open interest. Go back to that, and then you can select. You can accept this interest if you think if you think you want. Um, there are many ways, many reasons why you would accept a listing or decline a listing. So I think mostly accept will be the best route. But if you have a lot of listing, a lot of interest, and you prefer one other than the other, then you just accept and decline the rest. So, but if you have a lot of interest, then it's good for you as the seller, because you what you do is you just accept one and the other, and perform the trade automatically. Sorry, perform the trade and then move on to the next interest as you go. If you're only selling, if you the item you're selling or the listing you have has a lot of you have a lot in stock, right? So you can decline this, but we will do accept. So when you accept, the data will be the form will be pre-filled with the information that the interested buyer filled in. So the window, place, you can put like latitude and longitude if you know where that latitude and longitude is. and for crypto, we'll provide these later. But for now, just go M-Pesa. You can put your phone number. So this is fine to leave it empty for now. But if in future we'll have a way to withdraw funds from your wallet. As you can see, there's a wallet behind this, but I'll show you that. Like if you look at this amount is the current balance in your wallet will be deducted once you create a reservation. And the reason for that is because every reservation will include a stake fee. So it's not a fee, it's just to stake for the buyer to stake an amount and the seller to also stake an amount. And once you accept you accept, it creates a reservation for that listing automatically. And then you get a notification, you get another pop-up to stake how much you want to um, how much to pay to stake for that listing. So staking is just a process of telling the buyer or telling the seller, sorry, telling the buyer, because in this case we are the buyer, we are the seller, we are staking, we are accepting an interest. So you're just telling the buyer, I'm legit, right? I've staked this amount, and then QuestLyst, we are the third party who will inform the buyer that the seller is legit. They have staked this amount. So these are the stake policy. The stake policy states that uh, for each for the listing price, we take 10% of that, and then we perform a stake using that 10%. And then once a stake is made for that 10%, if it's in dollar, we convert using the rates that are currently available. You can see the rates here. And if it's in Kenya shillings, we just go directly to stake. So once the buyer stakes, this amount will be deducted from what the wallet. So you can do the stake, you can stake, and then it will perform a stake. And then once it performs a stake, a reservation will be created. And um, apparently, maybe I just need to refresh this, but yeah. So yeah, the amount was deducted, and then reservation was created. So if you go to reservations, you'll see pending stakes. So it's pending because only the seller has staked. We need the buyer stake as well so that we can begin a trade. So this once a trade happens, then the stake amount will be refunded to each party to their wallet. So if we can go to this, so you see there's an update on the buyer side. So the update says that um, seller has staked, deposited this amount. So we need the stake of the buyer so that they can perform the trade. So remember, this is a trade that is happening. It's not physical proximity, but I'll show you the proximity version where the buyer has to scan some code. But for now, it's the buyer might be somewhere else, the seller also some other location. So what the stake policy does is just ensures that these people are legit. No one is trying to scam another, right? So are you legit? Can you stake this amount? If you stake, then I'll see that, oh, the seller has staked, then it's fine. I can stake. But to do that, you can. So if the buyer decides to stake, or remember, there is also the terms of trade. So we have a few terms of trade which will explain what the stake policy is, why we need the stake, and what everyone benefits from staking. And then the refund policy. So every stake is refunded as long as a trade happens. So if a trade happens, then we refund the stake. If a trade doesn't happen and the seller cancels the reservation, then we also refund the funds. But if a trade happens and then we don't tell QuestLyst that a trade happened, then I don't think there's a way to tell that a trade happens and we refund the fund without knowing that a trade happened. So these are just the terms of that trade. I'll just show you run through the whole process so that we know a buyer staked and a seller also staked. So let's stake as a buyer. So for the buyer, I think we can go to their wallet and see that we have some amount in their wallet. So this is the amount that uh, will be deducted for the stake. So let's go back and do our stake. So once we stake, what will happen now is um, the seller will be notified that the buyer has staked, and then the reservation will be active. So once the reservation is active, as a buyer, as a seller, I'll go to the listing and see the reservation. So the reservation is active. Now I can. Now the part where the trade happens is this. So this is when we show or we tell we as QuestLyst, we know that a trade happened between the buyer and the seller so that we can refund the funds. And this is a way to make sure everyone is legit. So for this to happen, it has to be a proximity trade. So a proximity trade is just a trade that happens between the buyer and the seller in proximity with each other. So they are close to each other. And to be close to each other, we ensure that the closeness is um, is mandatory. It's always close to each other by using this QR code um, uh, QR code idea so that when the buyer or the seller starts a session, so the session will only be started by the buyer, sorry, by the seller, and then the buyer scans that QR code, but the buyer has to be in the same session so that they can see updates when the seller starts a session. So you are the buyer, you are you've met the seller starts a session, and then once a session started, there is a QR code, and then a join um, button lights up so that to update the buyer that a seller has joined. So this only displays to the seller. That way, as a buyer, you can't scan it unless you are in close proximity with the seller. And on the other side here, the buyer sees that the seller has joined, so they can scan. So currently we are on a computer, so we're demoing on the same computer, so I can't really scan the other QR code unless I'm on the phone. But I'll just show what the scan would look like. And yeah, it pops up a camera. Just check these out and try to do this again. So so the scan will just pop up a camera, and then the camera will tell the buyer to scan the QR code that the seller has shown to them. And I'll close this and I'll try to use a phone so that we see what kind of how the we see the buyer joining the session. So since right now the seller is the only one who has joined, so I'll just copy this and oh, again, when you exit the same session, then it restarts, so you can't really exit the session and try again. And that's I'll try again using so I'll just reload this and show the buyer and log in with the phone as the buyer. Copy this. Okay. Okay, so I will join in as a buyer. Buyer. Okay, so I'll start a session. So what you'll see on the phone is a proximity trade console, and it will be the same as what you've seen here. So once you start the trade, the buyer joins, and I have to join as a seller. So to scan this, I will um, open my scan this time, not this time, and then scan this. So once I scan it, I join the trade as a buyer. So once both parties have joined, then you can complete trade. So until you reach this step, you cannot complete until you get to this point. So you have to get to this point for you to complete trade. Now, once you complete trade, what happens is we release the funds. Um, Trade happened. Everyone sold. The buyer sold gave the sorry, the seller gave the buyer the item. The buyer sent the seller the money for the item, and everyone is happy. So that's the whole process of trade, um, proximity trade. And once all this is done, you can go back to your wallet and see that hopefully, yeah, that's not good. A refund never happened. Yeah, I think this is happening because I'm on dev, but uh, ideally what we should have is a refund. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so the good news is that we have transactions. So So since we have transactions and transaction ID, the good news is when we encounter such a thing, which would not happen in production, and what we do is we have these transaction proofs where um, when you get such an issue, you can do a withdrawal request to QuestLyst, and then what we'll do is we will you can copy the transaction ID and then send an email to QuestLyst where we can refund the funds to your wallet directly, or we can send the funds to your whichever method you have provided the team. And to do that, you can just click send email to support, and this is the email that you'll be sending to. Then send the transaction history. You copy that transaction ID and then send it to QuestLyst, and then we will refund that amount. And the other thing is that we will know that a trade happened, but based on that ID, the transaction ID, because we link the transaction ID to the trade, so we'll know if a trade is still inactive, or is still active, or a trade um, happened. And that's the whole process of trade proximity on the marketplace. And then we also have top up option. So this is just when your wallet is not has no amount, but that's that's a story for another time. For now, that is how you create a listing. That is how you establish a trade. And um, let me see if I can. Okay, see if something is here. Okay, wallet. And, uh, all right, so let's try an example that already exists, and copy these two. All right, submit an interest. Test, and then here I'll see a new interest. Accept. This will be deducting 99. So these are the ballots, and then I'll stake 80, and I just want to test if so this is active. So I just want to test can if we can, yeah, so this is also active. So I can go here, all active. So this is active, this is active. Once it's active, you can choose to as a as the seller, you can choose cancel to cancel reservation. So once you cancel, what happens is you get refunded the amount. So um, we get the refund back, hopefully. Yes, so refund, deduction, and then refund was added to. So the bal after the stake, we had um, this amount, and then after cancel, we got the amount back. So let me refresh the wallet. So the wallet has our amount. So I think we have a bug. The bug only exists on this environment. So I'll have to check this. But yeah, so that's the whole process of trade. And between buyer and seller. And um, finally, once you have finished and completed the trade, then you can move on to other interests and do the same thing. So that's it for now. Our next live stream will just go through the remaining feature, especially auctions and bidding, so that you see live auctions and how to bid and how to um, run an auction on the system. So I guess that's it. We can we can stop there. Thank you for watching and see you next time.